Welcome to My Wife is a Spy demo. Today we're going to be reviewing the My Wife is a Spy demo. It just came out recently on Steam, and we're going to play the game and review the demo. I really don't know much about this game on Steam. I'm just going to kind of read what the description says. It says that in this visual novel, you're thrown into an arranged marriage with the cold Duke of the North. Explore political tension, shifting loyalties, and two routes: romance or rebellion. Support your husband or betray him like a true villainess and take control of your fate. I'm not quite sure what's in store for us, but it sounds very mysterious. So let's get into it. Trigger warning, it does deal with heavy familial abuse. Gives hope that a person can move on from years of pain if they leave a toxic environment and find a good circle of support, people who support them. So just a trigger warning for everyone. Almost home. The gentle wind sways the canopies of trees as I walk through my neighborhood. The soft breeze, the pleasantly warm June evening weather put me in a good mood. My heart fills with bloomingly joy as I look around the area. I take in the sights of the neighborhood where I grew up, the familiar houses, the new and old cars, the stray soccer ball left behind by children. Just one more month until I can finally leave this place behind and move out of my parents' home. All I need is the first paycheck from the job I landed today, and I can start looking for my own apartment closer to the city center. I hum a happy tune, my steps in light. Today, I had a job interview for the position of a business analyst at a prestigious corporation. All of my efforts spent learning math and economics at college has finally paid off. Only a half a year after graduation, and I already have the dream job I've always wanted. Half a year filled with even more belittling for my parents than usual. Telling me that I picked the wrong course of studies, that I would have been better off going to school that I would have been better off not going to school at all instead of pursuing economics. Insisting that with my shyness and fear of people, I'd never be able to impress anybody during a job interview. What the hell is wrong with these parents? Saying that I'd end up living with them until I grow old, and insisting that I should be grateful for it because I would never survive without them. I take a deep breath, and then I release it. I'm glad the years of suffering my father's and mother's pointed words will soon come to an end. Maybe, just maybe, they'll be happy that I landed a new job. Perhaps now that I've proven myself capable of starting my career after studying so hard, things will change for better between us. After all, I've impressed the interviewers so much that I landed the position immediately after the interview. They called me with the job offer when I was on the subway returning home. I'm sure my parents will appreciate that I'm finally becoming independent. With renewed hope, I open the door to my home. The delicious smell of, cooked steak wafts the air. You're late. Dinner's getting cold. Mother glares at me from the dining table. Father sits opposite her, looking at his phone. The table is set for dinner, and they're already eating. They didn't wait for me to get home. Sit down immediately and eat. You don't want your mother's cooking to go to waste. Right. I take a seat and taste the half-cold steak in front of me. How's the work been today, dear? Should I even ask? I'm sure you screwed something up once again. Jesus Christ, this mom. Did you insult a client during a presentation? Or ruin important documents? Delete a file with crucial data? Huh? Why would you assume I can't do my job properly? Oh, that's to the father? Oh my god. Because you're useless husband. I can't imagine you're doing one thing right. And you've made all those mistakes before. Holy crap. That doesn't mean I'll repeat them. I'm not as absent-minded as you are. Oh my god. Y'all, get a divorce. My parents are going at it again. Arguing. I've experienced little love from them all my life. No warmth, no support. They hate each other just as much as they detest me. Oh my god. That's the way of our family. Or that's the way our family has always been. That's why I want to move out as soon as possible. That's why I'm striving to have proper career, so I can support myself and get away from them. Yeah, I would too. You're not any better than me. You can't even wash dishes without breaking a plate. I'm sure you suck at your job just as much as you suck at managing the household. Jesus Christ. You, how dare you? If you hate the way I keep your house, or keep the house so much, then don't eat the food I make, you ungrateful pig. I at least deserve to eat a good meal after all the hard work I do to bring home the money that keeps this family fed. The meager money you bring in from your job barely manages that much, especially with hockey leeching off of us and being unemployed. I curl my clammy hands on my knees, my fingernails biting into my palms. My lip quivers when I speak up. With my parents focused suddenly on me, now's my chance to tell them that I just got my dream job. Still, their attention fills my heart to the brim with fear. These emotions are nothing new. I've dealt with them all my life, but I never get used to them. Used to feeling so small and so inadequate. I am small, of course, and I do amount to almost nothing. Oh, girlie, no. No, wait, that can't be true. Since I did land my dream job after all. The fact that I'm finally making a future of myself should change the way my parents see me. We're gonna stay quiet. You don't have anything to say? Were you going on and on the other day about how you want to become a business analyst? Ha, what a joke. You can't even get a word out in front of us, your own family. You think you'll manage to present your ideas in front of a whole group of people regularly, advising them on how to make a project a success, when you yourself suck at communication and clearly need to improve your skills so much? Please, stop. You think anybody's gonna hear you when you mumble under your breath like that? Speak up! I got the position of business analyst at a good corporation, bitch. Ha! Ridiculous. I hope your new employer will quickly figure out how unfit for the role you really are. Tears well up in my eyes. Nothing has changed. Even though I now have my dream job in my eyes, my parents, I'm still useless as ever. I open my mouth again to tell them I'm going to move out soon, but I hesitate. What if I really can't do my job properly and the company lets me go after the first month? Would I have to then return to this house with my tail between my legs? Tremors course through my body, fear gnawing at me from the inside out. I told you just to get a job as a shop clerk at the grocery store. I already went there and asked if they'd give you the position. That's the only kind of job someone as useless as you can do. Being a cashier or cleaner is good for you. Business analyst, my ass. We always said studying economics and finance wasn't right for you. You won't do well on the job. The tears overflow and my vision blurs. No. I can't take this anymore. Hockey, you haven't finished your dinner. My mother yells at me when I get up, but I can't hear anything my parents say anymore. I can't see a thing through my tears. I can't hear a word through my noise in my ears. I run out of the house, the door slamming behind me. I don't look where I'm going, heading straight into the street. I just want to get away, as far away from the pain, the toxicity of her parents as I can go. The loud screech of a car coming to a halt sounds from my right. A delivery van coming straight at me. No! I quickly judge the distance back to the pavement or to the other side of the road. I decide to step back. I turn around to run back to the sidewalk. I only take a few steps before a devastating force hits my body. I fly into the air and the distance feels so far. Finally, my body hits the pavement. Ah! I experienced the worst agony I've ever felt in my life. No abusive words from my parents compared to the searing pain in my body being destroyed under the weight of the car. I cough up blood. I hear screams around me. Someone's grabbing my leg, trying to get me out from under the van. There's loud ringing in my ears. The blackness fills my vision. I have a feeling no matter what I chose, this was going to happen, by the way. Slowly, the pain fades. When I come to my senses again, I don't feel pain anymore. I look down at my body. It's not crushed, deformed, or in any way destroyed, but it's translucent. Around me is pure whiteness, blindingly bright, but instead of my eyes hurting, the sight of the place feels serene and comforting. Hello? My voice echoes loudly in emptiness around me. Slowly, I realize what's going on. I died. I ran into the road. Driven by emotions, I got ran over by a delivery van. Ha ha ha! A small laugh escapes my lips. In the end, I really did amount to nothing. I died such a pathetic death, stemming from my own stupidity. Serves me right. Disappointment and regret fill my heart. I had just landed my dream job. I was ready to get out of the abusive environment of my parents' home. I would have finally been able to live my life the way I wanted, to prove my worth to my mother, my father, and to myself, to build my own life. Great, this sucks so much. I want to go back. I want to live my life, but going back to the life I'd live is no longer a possibility, is it? I had died and gone to heaven? Is that what this place is? Wind blows behind me, a heavy drift interrupting the stillness of the air. I spit on my translucent heel in the direction of the blast and see a red door? In the white emptiness, the red door is very pronounced. I feel a pull towards the entrance. The door beckons me, dares me to come closer. It's not like there's anything else to do around here. I move towards the door, my steps entirely silent. I only stop when I'm in front of the entrance to where? My hand hovers over the handle. Should I open the door? A shiver runs up my spine. I feel watched. Someone's behind me, staring at my every move. I turn around quickly, but nobody's there. Only the vast bay of whiteness. If you want to go back to your world, you must complete your mission. A voice. Who are you? Who's there? Fear rises in my heart, but even though I call for the person behind the voice, there's no reply. My mission? What's my mission? Am I not dead? What more is there to do? The door behind me yawns open. I face the entrance. The inside of the door is glowing with warm pink light, inviting me forward. Strange. Curiosity pulls me towards the entrance. I want to go through. I want to see what's on the other side. My life can't end like this. I want to see what the mission is so I can go back to my world. I need to live my life more. My resolve clear, I step through the red door. Where is that good-for-nothing daughter? We're done with dinner. How can the child be so rude as to be late? We've already eaten everything, even the celebratory lobster. What does it matter if she's late? If she doesn't want to eat, she can starve for all I care. Who are these people? Where am I? Pink hair? Clothes that would belong at a Renaissance fair? Foreign food? There you are, Sophia. Sophia? Who's that? What are you staring at like a dumb lamb child? Come to eat now, have you? I'm Sophia? Child? Who is this man to me? I look down at myself and see long pink hair. I'm also wearing an outfit that wouldn't be out of place at a Renaissance fair. My skin is slightly darker than my usual color. I take a step forward and stumble. I seem taller now, and something binds my middle, constricting my breathing. Is this a corset? I pinch myself, but I don't wake up. The pain is real. This situation is real. Sophia Dali Karsari. Quit staring at us like you're seeing us for the first time. It's unsettling. If you want to eat something, there are still some leftovers. The woman gestures to the table. My gaze wanders over the lobster's shells, eaten clean. There's nothing else to eat except for maybe the berries, which the younger woman is currently snacking on. Do they think I'm a dog that will lick their plates clean? Listen to your mother, Sophia. What's going on with you today? My sister has always been strange. This is nothing new. Sophia Dale Karsari. The strange name rings a bell. On my way back from the job interview, I read a webcomic where a person by this name was was one of the side characters. The girl had long pink hair, much like I do now. She wasn't anybody significant in the story, just a shy girl who followed the main character heroine around as part of her entourage. But that was just a story, and this situation I'm in right now feels very real. I couldn't have been reincarnated, right? That's impossible. I did not die, though. I'm not, and now I'm very much alive. I did die, though, and now I'm very much alive. Only, I'm not myself anymore. Sophia? Yes, that's your name, you stupid oaf. What in the world is going on with you? The man speaking must be Sophia's father. He once slighted the male lead of the webcomic. He's known for his mean personality. Count Elio Dale Carceri. I grab the edge of the chair as the world spins in front of me. I'm overwhelmed by the new situation. I'm not feeling very well. See, she's not fit for the mission you want to send her on. And what do you think I'm supposed to do about it? She's going anyway. Sophia's always been useless. Finally, she'll be able to do something helpful for this family. Sophia's mother and father no longer pay attention to me, arguing amongst themselves. The younger woman continues to eat berries, unbothered by the scene. She watches me with a loathing gaze that freezes the blood in my veins. What's her deal? Are you excited about finally amounting to something, sister? So she's Sophia's sister. Bianca, a memory supplies? I don't know what everyone's talking about. They'll reveal all to you in due time. They had to pick you, not me. I wanted to prove myself to father, but it had to be you. I have no idea what she's talking about. The Count and Countess continue to argue, their voices getting louder and louder. Why are you taking more and more loans? Are you insane? Taking more and more loans. Are you insane? Soon our situation will improve tremendously, and then we'll be completely out of debt. Was the lobster we ate today bought with the latest sum of money you borrowed? Of course it was, but worry not, my beautiful wife. Soon we will get honor and riches we deserve. His gaze lands on me. All thanks to Sophia. No child, make yourself scarce. And because you dared to miss our special dinner, well, you're gonna get servant food for the next 3 days. Jesus Christ. You're also confined to your room. What? Why? Dominic, escort Sophia to her room. Lady Sophia. The butler gestures to the door. I take one last look at Sophia's family before I stumble out of the room. The man grabs my shoulder, but I have no delusion that the gesture is to support me. He yanks me along the corridor in a rough fashion before, more or less, throwing me into my room. Dang. When the room is locked, I collapse on the soft bed. Memories of Sophia's life begin to flood my mind, of her relationship with her parents, her life, etc. Aw, we're so cute. Is this situation for real? Are they just as abusive as mine? Not caring if she misses meals, calling her names, controlling every aspect of her life, confinement, starvation. are clearly a favorite means of enforcing discipline. Or rather, in Sophia, since Bianca, Sophia's sister, is their golden child, who they barely ever felt the need to discipline. Why did I have to go from one toxic family to another? I don't want to live through abuse. Not again. What choice do I have, though? If I'm a noble daughter now, my only way out of this place is through marriage. I just hope my husband won't be an old disgusting geezer. If I want to return to my world, I need to fulfill my mission. That was what the strange voice said. So what is my purpose here? Sophia's parents mentioned a mission too. I have no doubt I ended up in the body of Sophia for a reason. The grumbling of my stomach interrupts my racing thoughts. The body of Sophia, my body now, difficult as it is to think about, is hungry. Maybe it would have been better if I'd eaten the leftovers. No, I just have to wait for the servants to deliver my meal. I wonder if the Count will come to tell me what the conversation at the table was about. Later that evening, the door opens and a maid puts a tray with soup on it before hastily closing the door again. Soup seems like a nice offering. Either the Count changed his orders, or the servants have taken pity on me. At least that's what I think at first. I pick up the tray, set it on my desk, sitting down to eat. One look into the bowl, however, shows me that this soup is just the most watered-down broth I've ever seen. Even so, I put a spoonful in my mouth and eat. I'm too hungry to worry about the quality of the food. Even this tasteless soup is better than nothing. Next day goes by as I struggle to keep myself busy in my confinement. I explore the environment of my room, trying to get to know Sophia. Through the items that she holds close to her heart, I quickly discover that other than the brooch she keeps attached to her day dress, she has little in terms of jewelry. Her father has likely gambled all the jewels away. A tall bookshelf stretches all the way from the floor to the ceiling, suggesting that Sophia likes to read. Books are all on the Empire history, with little in terms of entertainment, so I put them aside. On the nightstand are a pen and paper, but the desk drawer houses little in terms of finished letters or documents. I also try my best to find a diary, but to no avail. I do, however, find a small, closed chest. Warmth spreads in my heart as Sophia's memory of the person who gave her the item comes to mind. Shiera, the Saintist. Sophia was part of her entourage during her stays in the capital. Judging from Sophia's reaction, she holds the Saintess in high regard. I fish under the mattress, finding a small key, and open the chest. Inside is an array of letters with expressive, chaotic handwriting. Shiera's handwriting is much like her personality, always in a rush to do one thing or another with little regard of inner peace. The opposite of what you would think a saintess would be like. Looking through the letters, I witness the evidence of a friendship between Sophia and Shiera. At the same time, I'm doing my best to remember the original story of the webcomic. The comic centers around Saint Shiera as she heals the poor and rich alike with her holy magic powers. She is also a skilled alchemist who invents many potions which help improve health in the Empire. Shiera falls in love with Luca, the crown prince, but she also has other love interests in the story. Her knight, who follows her around like a puppy, and the Duke of the North, Zachary. It is an Atom Zakai webcomic, like many others I've read. Nothing particularly original, but I enjoyed the familiar premise. Sophia is a friend of Shiera, but she plays no significant role in the story beyond being a background character. She is shy and doesn't speak. But it seems Shiera holds Sophia dear, regardless of her shortcomings. Oh, how I wish I could have such a friend. I've never grown close to anybody on Earth. I've become even more curious about what mission, Sophia, I am supposed to fulfill. Since Sophia is nobody significant, what can she change in the story? I get my answers from the Count that evening. He waltzes into Sophia's room like he owns the place. And his daughter, too, for that matter. Considering the south of the empire is based on Renaissance Italy, this dynamic between a noble father and his daughter isn't that surprising. I get up from my seat at my desk to curtsy the Count, much like Sophia's memory tells me to do. The curtsy comes out clumsy, and Sophia's father's frown deepens. Did you enjoy your meal? No matter, listen closely, child. You know our family is in debt, caused by his addiction. Our family needs to get closer to the Emperor. I need to win the Majesty's favor. I know of a way to make all of our financial troubles go away. Maybe I'll even be elevated to the position of Duke. Is Sophia's father delusional? Maybe. I raise my eyebrows. One would need to do something largely or hugely significant for such a change. You will help me achieve true happiness for this family. How so? You're a noble daughter of eligible age. You're in prime to marry. Together with the Emperor, we've made a good match for you. You will marry Zachary Colville, the Duke of the North. I blink once, then twice. The image of the cold Duke of the North, the archetype of all dukes from the webcomics, comes to mind. Dark hair, eyes like ice, a tall, athletic body honed by years of fighting with a sword. I could have landed a worse match in terms of looks. However, I'm sure you're aware of what a great match this is for you. You will become the Duchess of the North. The duchy controls much of the northern lands of the Empire. Although poor due to the limited ability to produce food, the need to rely on imports of grain and vegetables from the central parts of the Empire, the North has a strong military to ward off the monster attacks from the lands even farther north. I wonder how the duchy wants to deal with their food problem. Right now they're importing food from the Empire. If they rebel against the crown, will they import from allies who resent the Empire instead? Do they have such allies? And that's the problem your marriage will solve. The Emperor told me Duke Zachary is using his strong military to prepare a rebellion with the purpose of making the duchy independent. Memories from the webcomic come to mind. Duke Zachary does indeed launch a rebellion in the book prematurely, as results later show. The rebellion fails. In fact, many lives were lost in the fighting, and the duchy ends up even poorer as a result after the Emperor imposes large taxes on every aspect of their daily needs as punishment. But what does any of this have to do with me? That's why you've been arranged to marry Duke Zachary and spy on him for us. Spy? Yes, you will find out the Duke's secrets and send every ounce of useful information you find to me. Correspondence with any foreign allies with the Duke might have, trade agreements with them, names of dignitaries that are on his side, account books. When we have enough information to prosecute the Duke and to have him beheaded, you will become a rich widow. I will have my debts paid by the crown, and we'll all live life in peace and happiness. Do you really think I'm skilled enough to spy on the Duke, Father? You're a beautiful woman, Sophia. You grew up well, and all you need to do is seduce the Duke. You'll wrap him around your little finger in no time. I mean, men are pretty easy. I'm just kidding. Or am I? That's... All right, Father, I'll do as you say. Anything to get away from another abusive household. Maybe with the Duke Zachary, I will feel safer, more comfortable. From the way he treats Shiara in the webcomic, he's a good guy in the story. Perhaps we'll even grow to like each other? Will I be able to get the information Father wants from the Duke, though? Do I want to be the cause of Zachary's demise? Do I even have a choice in the matter? Wonderful, my dear Sophia. You will make me proud. See, the thing is, you can say, yeah, you'll do it, but do you have to do it? No. You can just say you will, and then just not do it. I'll do my best, Father. My life has always lacked choices. When I did finally make a choice and pursued my dream job, all I got was an abrupt and painful death. No, I can't give up. For the time being, I have to comply with Father's plan. Once I'm in Duke Zachary's castle, I will figure out what I want and what I can do. Here. Father takes out a small pocket mirror and hands it to me. This is a communication device. The mirror has been enchanted so we can use it to converse with each other over long distances. This is how you will give me information I seek without anybody finding out that you're spying for the Empire. I look at the unassuming artifact. There's nothing special about the mirror. If it's as important as the Count says, that's a good thing. If nobody knows this item is an artifact, they won't take that mirror away from me. To activate it, just speak my name. I have a matching artifact. Understood. You're much calmer about the situation than I thought you would be. Good. The daughter of Eliodale Carceri has to carry out her duty with dignity. I'm far from calm. I'm just stunned. From all the new revelations in my life. I also know how to pick my battles. I cannot disobey a Renaissance count who is apparently my father. But whatever happens later when I'm finally away from his grasp, that's another story. However, I have to keep in mind that this mission must be the one the voice spoke about. So if I want to return to the world, I'll have to fulfill my quest. My life keeps getting harder and harder by the minute. 2 weeks later, I'm traveling in a carriage to the north to marry my new husband. I've finally reached the northern lands, much of which is covered by forests. We see villages too as we pass by, but they are few and far in between. I glance out the window curiously, taking in the sights of the different architecture and people clad in leathers and fur on the streets. My heart breaks as I start to understand what the north is like. The buildings are in dire need of repairs, their roofs caving in, plaster coming off the walls, the cobblestones on the streets are broken, which makes the carriage jostle often. It's like none of the villagers care about keeping their homes in good condition. No, that assumption isn't quite right. The issue is that the people's most pressing needs aren't being met, so they don't have the energy to maintain anything else around them. When my eyes see the citizens of the duchy in such dire states, my heart breaks. They look so thin, disappearing under the thick fur coats they wear. Their clothes are in the same need of repair as their homes. They don't smile at all, clearly going about their daily routines without much heart. Oh, babes. Hunger, despair, these are all the emotions that can make a person so hollow. Oh, apparently if you press space, it just hides everything. Okay. The North is barely hanging on. The North has always been oppressed by the South during the story of the webcomic. Zachary decides he's done enough preparation for the rebellion and finally launches his attack. Like many of the webcomic's readers, I rooted for Zachary to become the main male love interest for Shiara and for the rebellion to succeed. But I've read many webcomics that started out well and ended not quite as the readers wanted. The story seemed to be going in just such a disappointing direction. Disappointing direction at the last part I read. I hadn't finished the webcomic yet. I'd only looked up spoilers to see whom Shiara would end up choosing. However, now this somewhat badly constructed fantasy world is my reality, and the plight of the people of the North is very much real. The people want to split from the Empire to lead their lives without huge taxes. They already have enough problems with monsters advancing on the homes of the citizens, and Zachary and his army having to stop the attacks. All of these concerns are part of my situation now too. No matter what happens though, rebellion or no rebellion, I know I don't want to go back to the Carcery mansion. I can only look ahead. After 10 long days of travel, the carriage stops in front of the castle. Hello? Hi, cutie. I will take one. I will take one, Duke, sir. The door opens and a man. Gasp, a man! Possibly the most handsome man I've ever seen in my life, with dark hair curling around his ears, sharp, light blue eyes, extends a hand to me. There's a smirk on his face when he looks me up and down. Welcome to the cold North, my lady. Me lady. His words are a greeting, but at the same time they feel cold. There's nothing else I can do, though, than put my hand in his. I'm a pawn to be married. But at the same time, I have hope that my life in this castle won't be so bad. Thank you, Your Grace. Unload the lady's luggage. Yes, my lord. Servants move around efficiently. Duke Zachary and I stand in front of each other. He looks at me with a cold, closed-off expression. Is he finally realizing that I'm a real person and that he's really gonna marry me soon? Okay, look how cute she is, though. Welcome to the castle of Duke Zachary Colville, future Duchess. I hope you'll find your new home suitable for someone of your standing. And who is this dude? I look at the man who approaches me and Zachary. Thank you. This is my advisor, Otis Havering. He's my right hand and closest confidant. So he's a person I should be wary of, as he's completely on my future husband's side. If I'm supposed to be a spy on the Duke, I have to be mindful to avoid Otis's suspicion as well. I'll need to gain some allies in the castle. It would be best to get the Duke and Otis on my side eventually, somehow. But that's a long-term project. In the meantime, I hope I can find some neutral parties open to supporting me. Pleased to meet you. I'll be in your care, Your Grace, as I adjust to my new life here. Yes, that's right. You will need some time to get used to your new surroundings. I hope you start feeling at home in the castle quickly. Why is he smirking so much while saying words that are meant to be welcoming to me? This is so confusing. You will be married in the town church in 3 days. Tomorrow the preparations for your wedding will start, my lady. Make sure you rest well today. The South doesn't see our marriage as something sacred. They wouldn't care if I just sent them a certificate without proper ceremony. However, I'm going ahead with the wedding anyway. I see. Ugh. Thank you, Your Grace. That's actually very thoughtful of Zachary. I know he's opposed to our marriage, but at least he's honoring me like a true duchess. Let's move inside the castle. I'm sure the lady is tired from her long journey north. I have to admit that I would love some rest. We will show you to your room then. When we enter the castle proper, I'm in awe of the spacious great hall with much different architecture and decor from Sophia's father's mansion in the south. One would think a castle so big, made of sturdier materials than the south's sandstone, would be unwelcoming, but the sculptures and banners that fill out the nooks and crannies make the atmosphere of the hall grand, but not unpleasant. There's a lot to look at here. The place has been decorated with care. My lady, you forgot your coat. I'm taken out of my thoughts by the sight of a girl with long, curly black hair running down the stairs, while a distraught maid follows right after her, carrying an expensive fur coat. Girl, I don't need the coat. They're already inside, see? I want to see what my brother's new wife is like. It's cold in the hall, too. You'll get sick, my lady. I won't. Zachary lets out an annoyed huff. The girl jumps down the last step and stops in front of us. Bridget. Hello, I'm Zachary's sister, Bridget Colville. She's adorable. Pleased to meet you, Sophia Dale Carceri, daughter of Count Dale Carceri. I make sure to introduce myself properly. Wow, you're so beautiful. What a pretty hair color. We don't have people with pink hair in the north. Is that a common hair color in the south? I wouldn't know, but my whole family has pink hair. Amazing. Don't you think she's gorgeous too, brother? This is the moment you're supposed to compliment your fiancé. How can you be so dense? I'm dense? Yes, you may not like that the Emperor has commanded you to marry, but why would you take out your frustration on this nice person? You tell him, Bridget. Bridget, I've told you not to meddle in politics. It's a topic that's far too complicated for you at your age. I'll be 16 soon, a legal adult. I love her. I fear that day. You're so rude. He's been very mean to you, has he not, Sophia? I wouldn't say that. It's the truth, but I can't admit it. Bridget may not be a player in the politics of this house, but I very much am. I envy her for being able to speak freely. So you're as rude to you. Zachary, you meanie. Enough of this, Bridget. The lady is tired from her long journey. We were about to show her to her new quarters. Yeah, sure. I'll find you later, Sophia, so we can talk without this rude brother of mine around. All right, I should stop myself, but I cannot help the bright smile that appears on my face. Bridget may be young, but she seems like a kind soul. I'm glad to have met someone so welcoming in the castle. Violetta gave me my coat, give me my coat now, please. I'm going out for a walk. Yes, my lady. Bridget puts her coat on and walks swiftly out of the hall into the cold air of the courtyard. Zachary stares after her with a troubled expression, but then shakes his head, gestures for us to continue up the stairs. We walked down a series of long hallways. How was your journey, my lady? The awkward silence is interrupted by Otis asking me a question. I wonder if he really cares, but doubt creeps up in my soul. He probably just wants to break the monotony of a quiet long walk. How thin and starved the people in the streets are. I know the country suffers from low food reserves in the winter and has to import food stock from the south at exorbitant prices. You must be mistaken, my lady. The conditions of the duchy is not as poor as you say. Otis gives me a disapproving look. Zachary glances my way, but his expression is inscrutable. Maybe I shouldn't have brought up politics so soon after arriving in the castle. Were they testing how perceptive I am to figure out how likely I might be to meddle in duchy's affairs? Shoot, I feel like I just made a mistake. This is the room where you'll be staying. We arrive at a door, and Otis opens it to reveal a spacious room with my suitcases already inside. I enter and spin around, taking in the sights of my new living quarters. Once again, I'm surprised by the cozy interior. See, I answered with that because I was like, fam, I care. I want to show you I care. Apparently, that's not what I should have done. I take off my cape and gloves, laying them down on one of the chairs. We will leave you to rest today. The maid that's assigned to serve you will come soon. If you need anything, let her know. I nod. We say goodbye to each other. Zachary and Otis leave, closing the door behind themselves gently. I plop down on the bed, staring at the canopy above. Only now do I realize how dead tired I am. There's a knock on the door. When I call in for the person to enter, a maid with a bob of short brown hair comes in. with a tray of steaming food. She puts the meal on the table, then turns to me with a polite smile. I get up from the bed and sit down on the table, looking at the hearty stew and crispy bread she served me. Not the kind of fancy food Count Elio loves so much, but I have to say I prefer it. At least here I'll get to eat proper meals, unlike at Sophia's family mansion. Thank you for the meal. Could you tell me your name? I'm Maya. The maid curtsies to me. Hello, Maya. Nice to meet you. I'll be serving you from now on as a personal maid, my lady. May I ask how your journey was? Quite tiring, if I'm to be honest. I think after the meal, I'll have to retire to sleep. Are you warm enough? Should I bring wood to light the fireplace? No, temperature is okay. It's a bit chilly, but I walked quite a distance. Maya leaves. My heart feels warmer from our conversation. So few people in my life have ever worried about my well-being. I know Maya is just doing her job, but still. Simply being asked if she can do anything to make me feel better gives me a nice feeling. The maid seems professional but kind. I don't think I will have any complaints about her work ethic. At least, that's the first impression I have of her. Maya returns when I'm done with my meal and sets up the bath for me. Since the meal helped me feel more rested and recovered, I think about some questions I would like to ask her. What is life like in the castle for you? Do you enjoy your job? I mostly used to take care of doing the laundry and cleaning before I was assigned to you. I expect my workload to change from now on. I will still be helping others. My main job from now on is you. He's a good master. I have no complaints. Can you tell me about the duchy? The area around the castle is famous for its hot springs. The kids like to sleigh down them. Since we have snow almost year-round, it's a go-to activity. The castle is the safest place. You can wander into the nearby woods and hills, no worries. What kind of bad things can happen around here? As I said, no harm will come to you here. Thank you for your answers. But I don't feel like it would be proper. I suffer through the embarrassment of having her help me. When she's done and I'm dressed in my nightgown, I jump into my bed. I can't fall asleep tossing and turning, worrying that I said the wrong thing today. I might have welcomed you to the castle, but that doesn't really mean we want you here. Perhaps Maya, my sister, may have been kind, but everyone else wants you gone. Oh, Jesus. I will divorce you as soon as I can. I will find a reason to cast you aside. You're never going to gain my trust. Ah! I wake up with a start, sitting up in my bed. My heartbeat is erratic, my throat dry. I feel like the world around me is spinning. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I need to get out of here. I quickly wrap my shawl. Maya left around my nightgown and step outside the room into the much colder hallway. The air is circulating more here, a small draft chilling me. I welcome the sensation. I take a few deep breaths, feeling the exhaustion from almost having a full-blown panic attack settling down deep in my bones. It was just a nightmare. It's not real. And yet, deep down, I feel like the words that Sophia's parents, my parents, and Zachary threw at me in my dream were the truth. I'm not good enough to be a spy. I'm not going to gain Zach's trust no matter what I do. No, I can't think that way. I need to find a solution. I want to get back to my world so I can finally lead the life that I've always wanted, so I can start my career. I worked so hard for that reality. Now, screw that world. Just live here with the Dutch. It's fine. The Duke, I mean. I need to calm down. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find the way back to my room, but I don't care right now. I decided to go for a walk down the long corridor of the castle. She's gonna run into the dude. Okay, I'm a sucker for romance, so I just want to keep playing this game right now. I walk for a while until I stumble upon an ajar door. Light falls through the opening and voices can be heard from within. I stop walking. Curiosity gets the better of me when I realize people speaking are Zachary and his advisor Otis. She's bound to be a spy. They're talking about me. Don't you think they picked the wrong person to spy on me? She seems like a normal girl, not a major threat. They must have thought to send someone we wouldn't suspect of being a spy from the start. They certainly did a decent job of researching your preferences. This kind of sweet, dignified lady is just the type of woman you like. There might be more to her than we know right now. It's too early to judge if she'll be any good at spying on you. I doubt she'll come up with any sound plans. And the fact that I might find her attractive doesn't matter. She's going to be my wife in name only. I'll stay wary of her. I don't want to risk her getting close to me when she might be planning to steal the secrets of the duchy. We should limit Sophia's access to the information that flows through this castle. Of course, we're not going to give her any proper duchess work like taking care of the household finances either. Duchesses in this setting are responsible for bookkeeping and making crucial financial decisions for the whole duchy. The point of delegating much of the management of the duchy and estate to the Duchess would be to lighten the burden of those responsibilities on the Duke Lesser. He already has to manage internal and external affairs as well as the military, which means relief from making decisions about household affairs would be very welcome. There's only so much one person can handle after all, and as I understand it, currently Duke Zachary is doing all the work himself right now, with help from Otis as needed. It's much too dangerous. I agree. She'll be a duchess in name only. The words hurt. I have vast knowledge of finances, so the task of keeping books for the duchy and making monetary decisions is something I hoped to do in the castle. The work would help fill my days and stimulate me mentally. Still, I understand why the two of them don't want me close to the confidential information. With how much the North is in debt, it's better an outsider doesn't touch the books. Otis has just confirmed the duchy's poor financial status. I should look more into this matter. Perhaps I'll be able to find a solution for relieving at least some of their debt. It would be a way to gain the trust of the Duke and Otis at least. I should figure out if there's anyone I can ask about the debt or another way to find the information I need. Deciding I've heard enough, I tiptoe away from the jar door. I have found a potential way to progress my mission here. I'm still unsure of how to gain anybody's trust, though, but I won't give up. I'll do my best to fulfill my duty. Oh my goodness! No, you can't just leave me on a cliffhanger like that. This is hateful. I am a sucker for romance. I want more. Aw, they did me dirty. Rude. It says, excuse me. It says TBD for planned to be announced as well. So we don't know when it will be announced either. That's just rude. Well, anyways, that is the My Wife is a Spy demo. And now I need to go watch a super freaking cheesy Lifetime Christmas movie or something to get my romance movie satisfaction, because that's how I feel after that demo. All right, thank you guys for tuning in for this demo playthrough. I'm doing a series on YouTube where I play through demos so that you guys can see what the demos are like without having to play through them. And you can see if you want to either try out the demo or just plain and simple get the game. Check out the series and see if there's a game that you are interested in and watch that video, and then either wishlist that game or go buy that game. And just like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys for the next video. Otherwise, we also have react videos for music, and I also stream on Twitch. So we'll see you on other videos or on Twitch.